Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I am Huck, and on today's episode, I am going to do a Criterion episode, but something a little bit different. There are so many great, amazing Criterion videos out right now where people are talking about their collections and what titles to get. And sometimes it can be a little intimidating, especially since, well, let's face it, Criterion is known for its catalog being a bit more eccentric, right? A little bit more for the cinephile. A lot of foreign films, a lot of not a lot of crowd favorites. Like you're not going to find E.T. and Rocky and, you know, Back to the Future, Raiders of the Lost Ark, things like that just don't seem to appear on Criterion. So if you're more of a mainstream person and that's kind of your jam, then that's the video I'm going to do for you guys today. I'm going to give you 10 more mainstream type titles that you can ease into the Criterion world with, if that's more your jam. So if a lot of the foreign titles are a little bit too intimidating, it's not your jam, you tend to look the other way with Criterion, well, I'm going to give you 10 more mainstream selections today that you can feel comfortable with and maybe ease yourself into the Criterion from that angle. All right, so sit back, relax, and enjoy this Criterion video. Alright guys, now before we get started, if you're new to my channel, please do me a favor, get on down there and hit like and subscribe, smash the bell, do all kinds of fun stuff. In fact, even recently I went out and did a Criterion hunt for you guys to pick up a new title, which I'll show you guys in just a second. I do Blu-ray hunts, also some trivia contests. People are really enjoying those. I do a morning show every Tuesday. If there's a local exhibit or something, I'll go out and do a full tour for you guys. Just all kinds of fun stuff like that. So if that's your jam, please consider hitting like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Now, since I just said I went out and did a 50% off run, I'm going to show you the title that I got first. It's not going to be part of the 10, but it is pretty damn good. And that is Shaft. So this is going to be the honorable mention right now. I just watched this last night. What a fun film this was. If you want to see an amazing breakdown of this film, go to James's channel, 20th and 21st Movies. It is an outstanding breakdown of Shaft. I couldn't do this any better than he did. So I just wanted you to know that I just checked it out last night, and it's so much fun. The dialogue and everything about it feels like very 70s, you know, all the, you know, right on, and, you know, what's wrong with your damn self, and all the kind of like colloquialisms from the time. The music is awesome. Isaac Hayes' song right at the front, you know, shut your mouth, you know. It was like right from the start, I was like, okay, this is going to be fun. And it feels a lot like a... If you're an old dude like me, and you grew up with cop shows like Streets of San Francisco and NYPD Blue, Hill Street Blues, things like that, it's got sort of that sort of gritty feel to it, but from an urban angle, and it's just it's really good. So Shaft. This will be my honorable mention before I dive into the top 10. So without further ado, let's jump into the top 10. Okay, at number 10, the first one up is a film directed by Stanley Kramer from 1963 called It's a Mad, 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 Mad World. This is one of those very first massive celebrity ensemble treasure hunting movies where, you know, they're all in hot pursuit to win the prize. Basically, the story is all these motorists, and these are all the celebrities, come across this one guy who was just in an accident. And as he's kicking the bucket, he even kicks the bucket in the movie, he tells all these people about this treasure that's hidden. And so the hot pursuit begins. And yeah, I mean, just chock full of so many stars. Let me read off some of these. You got Spencer Tracy, Milton Berle, Mickey Rooney, Ethel Merman, Buddy Hackett, Sid Caesar, Dick Shawn, Jonathan Winters, one of my all-time favorite comedians. I mean, it's so much fun, and this thing clocks in. It's a pretty lengthy movie. It is 3.5 hours. 3.5 hours. I remember when this thing would come on television, it would have to span 2 days just to see this thing. But it is worth a watch, you guys. I'm telling you. I mean, if you can binge 4 episodes of Stranger Things, then you can watch this movie in its place, since, you know, Stranger Things is all wrapped up. But yeah, so my first recommendation is It's a Mad, 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 Mad World. Okay, the next film up is a film from 1954 directed by Elia Kazan, and that is On the Waterfront. This is a much shorter film, it's only like 1 hour and 48 minutes, starring Marlon Brando, who's absolutely amazing. Also, Carl Malden is in this film. He's basically a longshoreman who struggles with crime, dealing with crime bosses, and his older brother is one of those as well. And he tries to connect with this grieving sister, which is one of the syndicate's victims. So it's just so well acted. I remember when I first finally got to see this film, I was super excited, and I was just hooked. This is the one that's got that famous line, I could have been a contender instead of a bum, which is what I am. And like from that moment on, I was like all in. So yeah, if you want to check out an old classic with one of our best actors, On the Waterfront, number 9. Okay, at number 8, and these are in no particular order, I just sort of chose to start with the older ones and sort of do it this way. But at number 8 is the Amy Heckerling directed film Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Guys, you can't get more mainstream than Fast Times at Ridgemont High. If you love stuff like John Hughes movies, this totally fits into that genre. Cameron Crowe wrote this one. It's chock full of stars, definitely stars that were going to become stars. You got like Sean Penn, Judge Reinhold, Jennifer Jason Leigh. Let's see, who else is in this thing? Oh, Phoebe Cates. I mean, come on, Phoebe Cates with that like iconic scene coming out of the pool and all that. And this is from 1982. 1982, and it's only an hour and a half long, so it's a super easy watch. Who else was in this? Ray Walston, like Forrest Whitaker. This thing is just so filled with stars. When you watch it, you're amazed how many people came out of this film. It's definitely the story of growing up in high school and the things that come with it and the relationships that come with it and the trials and tribulations and relationships and the cliques. So you got the stoners where Sean Penn, and you got, Judge Reinhold's kind of like the older one in the group. It's just an amazing film. If you have not seen Fast Times at Ridgemont High and you love these sort of coming of age films, in my opinion, this is absolutely one of the best, and I couldn't be happier that it is finally out on Criterion. So number 8, Fast Times at Ridgemont High. All right, at number 7 is 1987's The Princess Bride, directed by Rob Reiner. Stars Carrie Elwes, Billy Crystal, Robin Wright, Mandy Patinkin. It's such a... this is an interesting film for me because I'll tell you, when I first saw Princess Bride, and this is in the hype, the hype had already made this like a classic. I didn't care for it. I didn't see what the big deal was. But the more and more I watched it, the more I came to appreciate all the things that make this film so good. If you guys have not seen, this film, you got to check it out. It is definitely something that grows on you. If it doesn't click with you right away, it'll definitely grow on you. Other stars we have, let's see, Chris Sarandon, Wallace Shawn. He's the guy that's the classic line, inconceivable, right, that everybody says. Andre the Giant, Peter Falk. Like this thing, again, chock full of great stars. It's only like an hour and a half, so it's a really short watch. And Criterion did a great job. Look, this is what I love. They even did the digibook stuff. I don't know why they just don't do this for all their stuff, since they're kind of known for, really sweet packaging. Sometimes now all you get is an insert or something like that. But this one's the real deal. This one's got all the goodies. So yeah, so definitely do yourself a favor. Check out The Princess Bride. And here it is at number 7. At number 6, we have 1983's The Big Chill. We're kind of going off of comedies. Now we're getting into the dramas. And I got to tell you, this is absolutely one of my favorite ones. It's basically a story about 7 former college students who used to know each other, grew up and all that. And one of their friends had passed away. Trivia note, the person that had passed away was played by Kevin Costner. And there's supposed to be like a flashback with him in it and all this stuff. But you never see his face. The opening of this film is literally the coroner dressing the body. So you see like the stitch marks here where they, empty out the body and stuff like that. So all you see are things like his hands and wrists and his feet, and like right here when they put the tie on him. So you never even see his face. But Kevin Costner is the one they are there to talk about. And in this get-together, this reunion, if you will, they find out all about each other and what their lives have been like, and they kind of talk about him, and it's just a really endearing film that's loaded with excellent music, like older music, that hits the mark in this film. And yeah, if you haven't seen The Big Chill, I highly recommend it. Hey, let me just let me rattle off this cast for you guys. I mean, come on, listen to this. You got Tom Berenger, Glenn Close, Jeff Goldblum, William Hurt, Kevin Kline, Mary Kay Place, Meg Tilly, Joe Beth Williams. I mean, guys, loaded with so many good stars, and directed wonderfully by Lawrence Kasdan. So if you have not seen The Big Chill, check it out. Here we go, number 6. All right, guys, the next film up on my list, number 5, is The Fisher King. Directed by Terry Gilliam, stars Robin Williams, Jeff Bridges, Mercedes Ruehl. Both Mercedes and Robin were nominated for an Academy Award for this. It won quite a handful of awards. Mercedes actually won the Oscar. Robin did not, which I think he was robbed that year, because I'm telling you, like, nobody else, I feel, could have pulled off what Robin Williams did in this film. It's absolutely a stunner. Mercedes was fantastic too, though. She was well deserved of her Oscar. But Robin, that was a miss by the Academy, in my opinion. Jeff Bridges was excellent as well. It's a story. Jeff Bridges, basically a shock radio jock, right? And some guy calls in, and he's just kind of dismissive of this guy, and I think he just kind of pisses him off. And it basically, his actions basically incite this caller to basically incite a massacre. You know, it does not end well. And so that really affects Jeff Bridges' character. He becomes extremely mentally unstable and needs a little curing, if you will. And so in his process, he comes across Robin Williams, who is a homeless person, but used to be a college professor. You know, it's like you never know what life deals people and how they get to where they are. But Robin Williams is homeless, and he's in search of the Holy Grail. And there are some stunning visual pieces, especially dealing with Robin searching for the Grail. And it's just a stunning movie, guys. It's all I can say. It's an intense watch, but it's absolutely worth your time. So if you get around to it, please consider picking up The Fisher King. All right, the next film up is the 1981 film Blowout, directed by Brian De Palma. Stars John Travolta, Nancy Allen, John Lithgow. Basically, Travolta is a sound recording artist in the film industry, and he's out one day collecting sounds for a film that he's working on, and inadvertently, as he's recording stuff off of this bridge, he hears this, like a car, and there's a blowout. That's the blowout. And the car goes off the bridge, and there's two people inside. One is sort of this well-to-do guy, and then this girl that's with him, who's not his wife, you know. He jumps into the lake, saves Nancy Allen. That's the girl character, but cannot save the other guy. So the film is that story. It's like, what happened to him? They got to keep the relationship that he was with her a secret, and John Lithgow, of course, is the bad guy trying to keep all this information from coming out. So it's just a great film. I know Quentin Tarantino loved this film. He loved Travolta's performance. It got him all excited to consider him for Pulp Fiction and all that good stuff. So if you want to see what all that's about, check out Blowout. It is absolutely worth your time. Okay, the third one in the countdown here comes from 1987, and it is one of my favorite dramas of all time. That is Broadcast News. It's directed by James L. Brooks, and it stars Albert Brooks, William Hurt, and one of my all-time faves. I love her, Holly Hunter. She's so amazing in this. She was nominated for an Academy Award. I believe they were all. This whole thing was nominated. Best Picture, I think all the guys were nominated as well. I really wish Holly would have won for this. She was superb. The bonus features on this are great, guys. If you love Holly Hunter, if you love this, even if you've seen this movie, get this version, because there's some really good making of stuff. And they talk about how that role of Holly Hunter, James Brooks, he could not cast it. He was having the hardest time casting. And there were big actresses up for this role, and they just weren't right. They didn't have that sort of chutzpah, right? That moxie that Holly Hunter has, and someone said, go see this girl. I think she was doing a play or something like that. And it was perfect. She was like a perfect fit. God, she's so good. Literally talking about it makes me want to go put it in and watch it right now. But yes, I can't say enough great things about this film. I absolutely love Broadcast News. It's basically two rival reporters, which is William Hurt and Albert Brooks. And at some point, Albert Brooks, he gets flops. Like, he wants to be what William Hurt is, who's the handsome, suave, debonair guy. That's the anchor guy, and he's flawless at his delivery and his confidence and stuff like that. And then Albert tries to do it, and he gets flop sweat, and he can't control himself. He's horrible. But there's a great scene where William is on camera. Holly is the director. She's, you know, and she's telling him, you know, there's breaking news and telling him what to say. But Albert Brooks is telling Holly to tell her to tell him what to say. So he says it to her, then she says it to him, and then he says it, you know, he hears it in the earpiece and he says it out like flawlessly. And he even slightly changes the wording so it sounds organic coming from his mouth. I'm telling you, God, it's so good. That's all I'm going to say. I'll stop talking. Go check it out. Broadcast News. All right, the last two coming up here are genre-based, a little horror, a little science fiction. And this one is the 1958 version of The Blob, starring Steve McQueen, directed by Irvin S. Yeworth Jr. And I got this last year on the sale, and I'd never seen it before. I heard all about it. I kind of thought this was a mistake to buy. I'm like, come on, it's like The Blob. It's got the ooze coming out of the fake tiny sets and all that jazz. Man, this was really good. It was really good. Like, the performances, I just thought were going to be over the top and super campy. And some of the supporting actors are a little bit that way. But Steve McQueen and, let's see, what's her name? I'm going to look here. Is Annetta Corsell? Annetta Corsell. They were just outstanding. The performances were quite believable. And the effects really, again, when you watch things from their time, if you just immerse yourself into those effects, you'll enjoy the film. Like, you can't go, oh, God, that would be so much better if they could do it today, which I know there's a remake. But, yeah, if you just watch it for what it is from the time it was, gosh, it's highly enjoyable. Very good. I will watch this. I may put this again this coming up October for part of my Halloween rotation. But it's excellent. If you have not seen The Blob and you're looking for a good genre pick, there's this, and Night of the Living Dead is also a good pick. But I just wanted to pick this one because I think Night of the Living Dead gets a lot more press, if you will. Oh, you got to get that. That's the classics, George Romero. But The Blob, I want to talk up Blob because I think it is worth your time and money to go get. So, at number 2, The Blob. All right, guys, the final film on this top 10 countdown is a science fiction film because science fiction is my jam. I absolutely love it. And it is this classic sci-fi masterpiece from 1953, The War of the Worlds. Man, does this look good. I'm going to tell you right now, the transfer on this Blu-ray is outstanding. And they'll even show you in the making of, they show you kind of like some of the comparisons of what the image was before they got a hold of it. Gosh, it's so good. Like, it's so clean. It's so clean. You can literally see the wires in a lot of the scenes now, but that's okay because it's still worth it. You know, again, what I said about The Blob, just let yourself go with the effects for the time. It's enjoyable. And I don't mind the wires because it also shows you what they had to go through to create effects back in this era, right? It looks fantastic. It's got a little bit more less known people. I'll read off a couple for you here, like Gene Barry, Ann Robinson, you know, Robert Cornwait, you know. So it's not filled with a bunch of actors that you would know. But that's what's great, because you're not distracted by any sort of star power. You're just immersed into this story about aliens that land on our planet, and they're no ETs, I'll tell you that. They are out for no good. They want to conquer this planet, and we're going to do our damnedest to keep them from doing that. So if you know of War of the Worlds and you've seen it, get this version because you will never see it look this good. It's unbelievable. So that is my final recommendation. Highly, highly recommend War of the Worlds. All right, guys, that is going to do it for today. That is my top 10 mainstream selections from the Criterion collection that I hope will get you into the Criterion world on a easier note, so that you're not too intimidated by some of the foreign titles or the cinephile type picks that a lot of people choose. Here's a little bit more in the mainstream world, and I think these are ones that if you select any of these, you will be absolutely happy with any of them. Guys, thank you so much for checking out this video. I really appreciate it. If you're new to my channel and you enjoyed this video, please do me a favor and hit like and subscribe. Smash that bell so you get notified the next time I do my next video. Guys, that is going to do it for now. Thank you so much for checking out this video. It really means a lot. I appreciate it. So until next time, get out there, enjoy some Criterions, and I'll catch you later.